I brought my cheer squad. Now you've seen the subject that I'm going to speak about, the founder on this platform. He must have spoken on thousands and thousands, but it must have been wonderful when he spoke here to a packed city temple. Wouldn't it have been wonderful to have heard him, that thunderous voice and that very imposing figure? He wouldn't be at this desk. They had a special desk made for him because he was so tall. He really was an imposing person. Many of you don't know, but William Booth came to Australia 4 times. 1891, 95, 99, when his son Herbert was the territorial commander, and then the magnificent visit in 1905. Well, General Booth, when he would come to Australia, would stay from 10 to 14 weeks. He wouldn't just go to the capital cities, he went everywhere. Here in Victoria, he went to Ballarat and Bendigo, even to Horsham, went everywhere and down into Tasmania and to all of the places in Australia, and then to New Zealand before he went back to England. And of course, the ship travel in those days was anything from 3 months to 6 months. Sometimes he'll come via South Africa, and when the Suez Canal was built, he would come down through India and Sri Lanka. 1891, well, that was the year that his beloved wife, Catherine, was promoted to glory. So now he's free to travel the world, and he did it all the time. And he left his son, Branwell, the chief of the staff, to look after the Salvation Army in his absence. Being such a famous person and being so beloved of all Salvationists, when he was here in Melbourne, he had to preach in the biggest venues. He would preach at the Melbourne Town Hall and at the Exhibition Centre. Thousands of people would come to hear him. So when did he come to the temple? Well, the thing was, he conducted officers' councils in this building on his visits. We don't read much about them in the war cries, although there are hundreds and hundreds of pages about what he said here, there and everywhere. But in the officers' councils, considered to be very confidential and even secret. So we don't know anything that he said, but certainly he came here. Now, you know George Ellis and I, we've been researching about the founder's visits, and we always used to say he preached here 4 times, but we have to be honest. He actually didn't do the officers' councils on his first visit because he was called to Tasmania and the meetings were done by his chief assistant. So he was here 3 times. And, you know, it's often reported that the founder was very gruff and very short-tempered with people who disturbed his meeting. Absolutely. He could be crabby sometimes. Anyway, that day in 1895, some officers came late into the meeting, and everybody was a bit upset, and others were disturbed and disconcerted by these latecomers. Well, for once William Booth quietened everybody and said, "These officers have probably come a very long distance to be here. Welcome. Of course, you've got to remember, I've come the furthest of you all." But one very special day in 1899, this place was packed with hundreds of junior soldiers for William Booth's meeting. And that's where we're getting this wonderful line drawing of the founder at this desk. Because he spoke to the junior soldiers, and then at night there was a big rally for soldiers and backsliders. But we read in the war cry that at both of those rallies, William Booth had hundreds of children and hundreds of older people at the mercy seat. I did find something that George Ellis had never known. Now, those of you who don't know George Ellis, he was our first archivist. If you ask him anything, he doesn't even have to go and look at a book or a paper. He'll tell you the date, the person, the corps, everything. Well, I heard something about the founder being here in 1899. I heard it from Dr. Bram Southwell, who is the grandson of Colonel Arthur Arnott. And Colonel Arnott was the secretary to Herbert Booth. And the place was packed, and Arnott always suffered from heat. So Colonel Arnott got up and opened a window, and then the gruff voice came, "That officer, shut that window." And that's when Arnott learned the founder doesn't like drafts. Well, you've heard that I'm a soldier of this corps. And that's a great privilege. And you know, when we worship, I often imagine the founder standing up here. Not just because of my talk today, but often I think of him standing here and looking very pleased. Because when he looks down at the congregation, he will see many rather unkempt from sleeping rough, many of whom their problems have brought them here. And when they've come here, they've then found Jesus Christ. Many lonely, despondent people. And then I think, no wonder he's smiling. Because these are the kind of people for whom he started the Salvation Army. So I'm sure he'd be happy to be preaching here today. Thank you.